Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. My internet might be spotty. I am calling in from Lake Tahoe. So this is the hotel room I'm in, and yeah, I love this because I love Rajiv ji and I love all the people.
Nice. So, dude, when
Yeah,
are you coming? Exactly what date?
November 4th is when I'm landing.
November 4th. And did you decide
Saturday.
which airport you're going to?
Not yet. I told them both the airports. And
National or Dulles? BWI is a little bit out of the way, but it's
yeah,
not too inaccessible.
right, right. Yeah.
Land at National and then get in touch with me. I'll hang.
Yes. Yeah. I'll ask you out. Yeah. Caitlin will be with me, so she'll be third wheel.
Oh, of course. I wish you could bring your puppy too.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. All right, welcome everybody. We do this every Saturday. Today I am not calling from the studio because I am outside vacationing, but I love this, and we have something new happening. The H1B modernization. I read a little bit, but Rajivji, I'm sure you're gonna kind of go through that. So yeah, Rajivji is our immigration lawyer. Let's start with that.
Right. So I wasn't planning to talk about it because there's so much to say, but
Mm,
I can give you a quick overview. I'm trying to create, I'll try to do a video. I'll send you a link to it. Try to do a video between today and tomorrow. But going systematically, let's say I'm on F1 status, right? I've
mm,
got an F1. Now, how do the new laws affect me? Okay.
mm.
First of all, what, or at least it's not passed yet. This is a proposed regulation. They
Yeah.
might change it by the time they pass it. So the idea is that these regulations will remain open for public comment for 30 to 60 days, depending upon what the government decides. Everybody can comment, and I would strongly encourage to let your comments be known to the government. There'll be a link. It used to be that we had to send by mail, but these comments
Mm,
are for the last many years, they are doing online. So please put
mm,
your comments in there. 30 to 60 days, they have a notice of comment period. Then they will address all the comments and the major comments. And finally, they'll give us the final regulations. So one of the questions that was asked was, when do the regulations go into effect? So USCIS says we might have to, if we can, we might want to meet the next year deadline and implement these
mm,
changes. If we cannot, we might split things, do some things next year, some things later. So it depends upon how they decide to do it. Within the regulations, they've given us the proposed changes, and they've also asked for a couple of suggestions from the public. One suggestion was, what should we do with people who get H1Bs but don't use it?
mm.
They are in India and for 6 months they haven't applied for a visa. Should we not take away their H1B? So they've asked for those kind of suggestions.
Yeah.
There's one more
Yeah.
matter they've asked for suggestions. I forget what it was. So let's look at from the F1 student's point of view. Okay. First of all, can multiple companies apply for your lottery? Yes, H1B lottery. But
Mm,
the lottery will be counted to you.
mm,
You only get to enter the lottery once. Even if 50 companies
mm.
have applied for you,
Oh,
they
nice.
tied the
Okay.
lottery to you. And how will they identify it? And I'm thinking to myself, I was walking out for a walk day before yesterday. I'm thinking, if I were USCIS, I would just create a compound key in the database rather than
Mm,
hooking it to any one particular field. Because one of their concerns was, what if people keep changing their identity? With a uh,
mm,
little bit of
mm.
massaging of the fields. So
Yeah.
government has decided everyone's entry will be tied to their passport.
Mm,
Okay. But there'll
mm.
be room if your passport number changes or there's an extension, there'll be room to
Right.
get that. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you
That's
don't have a
nice.
passport, better
Yeah.
get one.
I mean, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I can't think of anybody who's out aside the US who doesn't have a passport. Everybody has a passport. But just
Unless it's expiring, right? Like if
yeah,
it is.
expiring. Yeah, if it's expiring, just make sure you renew it. So that
Right.
was the first thing. That
Yeah.
lottery, you can do multiple companies,
Hmm.
but you will be counted only once. Okay.
Hmm.
Number two, this is very important. This is the one I like a lot. So
Hmm.
normally what happens is if you are eligible for cap extension, that means your F1 is not expiring, OPT is not expiring until April
Hmm.
or later.
Hmm.
You used to get cap extension till October. They said we will extend that cap all the way to the next April instead of October. So now you've got a full 1 year of cap almost. And that means you have
Hmm.
more time for the H1B to be adjudicated.
Nice. Okay.
So that's a good thing. Now, for the students, that was the main thing. For H1B, I want to first address a very important question. You and I were talking about doing a video for this, which was
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, right?
On the yeah.
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 But we just, things didn't work out. So we were not able to do it. I'm glad because that would have been a waste of time.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now, once the regulations are finalized, we can have a detailed discussion. But here is what
Yes.
we are proposing.
Hmm.
You can own the company which sponsors you on H1B. So you can sponsor yourself through your own company. I told you we always could do that, right? The only thing
Right.
was the consulates were absolutely, they were 100% unpredictable. You never knew what they were going to do. So even if you
Hmm.
got the H1B approved from the USCIS, you could be stopped with the visa stamping. But if we have it in the regulations, then we won't have that problem, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Consulates will be able to address that. So even if you own your company and you own more than a minority, let's say you own majority stock, you can still do an H1B through your own company.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I can see a lot of founders
yeah,
coming up.
yeah. And they said, we're going to watch you. So we'll give
Hmm.
you the first H1B for 18 months, 1.5 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then we'll
Hmm.
give you an extension also for 18 months. So first 3 years, you get two extensions. But
Hmm.
thereafter, we'll give you regular extension. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's the entrepreneurial visa. But there were some tricky issues. Well, um, H1B is a specialty occupation, right? You have to have professional job. Let's say
Yeah.
I'm a software developer
Hmm.
and I'm going to develop as well as do marketing, shake hands, kiss babies. Um, can I? That's not really a part of my job. It's really specialty occupation. And they said, look, we don't really care what else you do in the aid of your company, but you
Yeah.
must do primarily what you're supposed to. So in other words, 51% of your job should be software development if that's what you got.
Ah.
Okay.
Hmm.
There's so much to say. I mean, I spent a good 2-3 hours yesterday going over the regulations. So I have
Hmm.
notes on that. I'm just speaking from memory. So
Hmm.
that was for the entrepreneurial H1Bs. Okay. I
Hmm.
really like this idea, but I want people to be warned. There is
Yeah.
no path to green card here.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
regulations
Hmm.
haven't changed. So if you think you can do a green card through a company that you own, you cannot. By the way,
Hmm.
another
Hmm.
interesting thing is you can have concurrent entrepreneurial H1Bs. So if you have company X that is
Hmm.
developing this magnificent software, let's say
Hmm.
cybersecurity software, and company Y that provides consulting on that software and other software, you can actually be entrepreneur in both of them under the same regulations. Okay,
Nice. Okay.
that's
That's
what I remember
interesting.
reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was one part. Now, um, people have talked about H1B. Somebody had mentioned is very difficult and this and that. They've changed the definition of specialty occupation. I think they've done a lot of cleaning of the house. They have
Hmm.
thrown out some of the nonsense material that doesn't belong. I could talk about the legal implications, but the impact is going to be felt the most by staffing companies.
Hmm.
They're always looking to for a way to tighten up staffing companies. So there'll be site visits will probably be more, and the site visits don't necessarily mean they'll come. They can send you email. They can call you by telephone. They can ask questions, and so they are going to follow through. This is especially true if your information cannot be verified from publicly available sources. So
Hmm.
one of the sources they use is Dun and Bradstreet, and just
Hmm.
make sure that because normally Dun and Bradstreet costs money, But if you go through USCIS, it doesn't cost you any money. So make sure that
Mm.
you go to the USCIS website and look for the link if you are a business and you're starting out. Um, Specialty occupation definition has been clarified. I won't say there's a huge change in it. I didn't see it. I thought, as I'm looking at the regs, I'm thinking, do I have to change anything in the way I work? Not at all. It's what we do
Mm.
already. And one of the requirements is that, look, if UD hires you as a staffing company and places you to work at IBM, okay, we want IBM to tell us what the requirements of the job is. We don't want to hear from UD, I require a bachelor's degree in computer science. No, no, no. We
Mm.
want
Mm.
IBM to tell us what the job requirements are. So we were already doing that. They want to look at contracts, they want to look at work orders. Now, some of it
Mm.
they had eased off in the last few months or maybe a year plus, but they always had the right to ask for that information. So I don't really see any big difference. Okay.
Mm.
Um, what else? They'll probably be looking at your LCAs more carefully. They have made that a part of their regulations. They are going to clarify when an amendment is needed, when it is not needed. We are already following all that. Um, they've also
Yeah.
made, like I told you, unfortunately, you don't have my copy. I have a marked copy. Uh,
Mm. Okay.
so, so
So wait, do lawyers get like a different copy than
no,
this?
no, I marked it myself.
Oh, acha, okay,
Yeah,
nice. I
I
feel
marked.
like we can just. Have you tried this? Where downloading this and putting it in Claude and see what it says?
Uh, I see regulatory. See, remember, Claude is it may be very smart, and I always
Mm.
tell people you have to understand how generative AI works.
Mm.
So you understand the concept of vectorization, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, if you say Apple eat, so if we give Apple a random number, let's say we call it 86, eat is very close proximity to it, and under our criteria, we give it the number
Mm.
89.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you've created a relationship which can be expressed as a number.
Mm.
All right. So it's not that the AI is very smart, it's that we are very predictable. So therefore, when AI
Mm.
gives us answers, it is doing a statistical analysis and giving us the best possible. Every sentence it writes, every
Mm.
word it writes. Okay. Now,
Mm.
when the regulations are new, I would
Mm.
not want to depend upon an AI to tell me what the regulations say. I want to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, once I am I'm already quite familiar with the regulations. Actually, there's a table on I think page 60 something. No, I could be wrong. Do a control F for table. Control F table.
Table.
Control
Okay.
F. Yeah, table. Table of keep going. Control F again. Next. Next.
Oh,
There
there.
should be a table that gives you all the summary of the changes. I think it's on page. No, it's way down. This you are still too far. Yeah, way down.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look it up. Hold on 1 second. Let me tell you what page it is on. I can't share my screen, right?
You can. You can.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
By the way,
So
what
not
we are
everything
sharing
is
for people who are watching, this is the actual documentation. I put the link in the
yeah, hold
chat,
on one
so
second.
so people can take a look at it as well. And I
So
know there's probably a lot of questions from audience right now, so we'll take those questions once
so
we
it's
are
table 12. Google, not Google, control F, table 12.
table 12. Okay,
Yeah. That is the summary of the regulations.
there we go. Okay,
Okay.
nice.
So this is I like this table. Um,
Yeah.
so amended petitions, we know that already. Deference, the deference talks about, well, if we have decided a case in your favor, like given you an H1B or an O1, we are not likely to disturb that finding. So we will
Hmm.
approve the extension amendment, etc., unless there is a big change or unless we made a mistake but that was always the law. So keep going down.
Hmm.
Keep going down.
Evidence of maintenance of
Yeah,
status.
they said whenever you file for an extension, we want you to include the evidence of maintenance of status. Well,
Hmm.
not a big deal. That's always a part of it.
Nice. itinerary requirement,
Uh,
eliminating itinerary requirement of age programs. What
yeah,
is
they have
what
taken
are
it out. They say itinerary is not required anymore.
okay,
Validity
nice.
expires before adjudication. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. So, what they said was, let's say that we've been sitting on your H1B case, and by the
Hmm.
time we get to adjudication, your validity is already expired because we've been sitting on your case so long. Then we'll give you an RFE saying, do you want to change the dates?
Hmm. Oh, wow, interesting.
Which is nice, right?
Yeah,
So,
that is nice. Yeah.
what else?
Cap exemption, we talked about that. Is there
No,
any?
the cap exemption we
Oh,
didn't talk about. So
okay.
this is very important too. I like this one too. The one that
Hmm.
I like the most. I actually lost a case in one of my staffing. Well, they're not a staffing company; they're a consulting company. They had placed employees to work at the National Institutes of Health. Okay, so NIH is an exempt organization. By the way, I have not been able to get rid of this nonsense because apparently you have to be in communication when you get rid of it. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Reactions.
And for
Advice.
people who are asking, this is the new H1B rule that was proposed. This is
Yeah,
again proposed. There's a
yeah,
comment period going on right now.
yeah,
And then, this will
yeah.
like
This
go
might
into
take a
effect.
while to be published and become final. Okay, so H1, what they did was, so my case was denied only for one reason. They said your employees are not working at the premises; they are working remotely.
Hmm.
They
Oh,
should be at the
interesting.
premises, and the government said
Okay.
that's not required anymore. As long as you're
Hmm.
providing services to exempt organizations. So they did some more house cleaning, but basically the law remains the same, except one big advantage. Now we actually don't have
Hmm.
to be physically working from there.
Oh, sweet. So remote jobs for non-profits
Yeah.
are in gig. Okay,
Another
nice.
thing they changed was previous language said that the in order to qualify for the exemption, the organization that is quota exempt must be primarily involved in research, for example. Now they say
Hmm.
not primarily, but one of their fundamental activities is. That's a
Hmm.
big difference. So instead of
Yeah.
saying primary, they say one of the fundamental activities. I like that too.
Hmm.
We talked about cap. That's done.
Cab. Yeah. Start
But they
date
also changed,
flexibility.
they gave us some flexibility on what the start dates should be, like for second and third lottery. As long as they're not more than 6 months ahead, you can choose any day
Hmm.
during the fiscal year.
Hmm. Okay.
Additional time burden for the H1B registration system. Time burden. Time is it time burden?
Yeah, it is time burden.
I don't know what the hell that is. Can you go up a little bit? Let me see. Due to changes in instructions, adding clarifying language regarding the denial of revocation of approved H1B.
Hmm. That is crazy.
Oh,
$3
that's
million
I'm just giving
dollars.
you an estimate of the time that is added because of the. Yeah, don't worry about this. Keep going out. This is time burden. When you fill out the form, it takes you extra 5 minutes. Uh, Beneficiary centric selection. We already talked about that.
Hmm.
We go by your
Hmm.
passport number. What else?
Nice. Yeah. Bar on multiple registrations submitted by related.
That's just a minor thing, not a big thing to worry about.
Okay. Registration with false information or that otherwise are invalid.
So, well, will not be nice to you if you do that. Next.
Yeah.
Keep.
Uh, Provision to ensure bona fide job
Yeah, they
offer
just want to
for.
make sure there is actually a job. You can't make stuff up. Um, like a lot of companies used to do that. They would say, we
Hmm.
have an in-house job. Whenever they told me that, I said, wait, I want to make sure you do have an in-house job. Tell me
Yeah.
what the job is. What is software development? What software development are you doing? We are creating a portal for job search in the medical industry. Okay, can you show me the portal? Well,
Hmm.
we don't have it up and running. All right. Can you show me the systems analysis documents? We haven't started yet. I said, listen, unless you can really flesh it out, don't even
Yeah.
go out. I don't want to come to you and see you in prison. Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is a criminal offense. Don't lie to them.
Hmm.
So don't think it's
Hmm.
very casual and you can just do whatever you want. So
Hmm.
now
So
they're
gaming.
making it clear, you must have a real project before you start hiring people
Hmm.
on HR.
Nice. Nice.
Beneficiary owner,
Benef-
we talked about that. Site visits,
Hmm.
we talked about that.
And then third party placement, I think we talked about
Yeah,
that too.
again, they need to give a letter saying what is your requirement. We don't care about what the petitioner is saying.
So, is this true for like all, even like Deloitte and KPMG,
Yeah,
like all these?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But here
because
there's a difference. There are a
hmm,
couple of things you need to recognize. One,
hmm,
let's say federal government gives Deloitte a project.
hmm,
Okay.
hmm,
So there are a couple of ways it will be handled. Either Deloitte places its own team on the government premises.
yeah,
In other words, it's the project. It's not just staffing.
hmm, hmm,
That is not required because they own the project. Number one.
right, okay, okay,
Number two
hmm,
situation is like I said, if the team is working on their premises or if they own the project, both situations we will look to Deloitte, not to federal government.
got it. Okay, okay, makes sense. Okay, additional time burden for Form I
Just
one twenty
calculating, you
nine.
have to spend another 5 minutes filling the form.
Okay, and that would cost them $4.5 million. Nice. Um,
Keep going. It is time burdens you can forget. Because I was confused for a second. What is time burden? They are calculating how much time it takes. So you're done. That's it.
yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, I like that table. It's nice. Everything is in that
But that's
table.
why I told you to go to that table because I was going to use that to
Hmm.
do my presentation as well. But we've already
Hmm.
talked about 99.9% of anything that needs to be said.
Yeah,
In fact, I
yeah.
might just borrow your video.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I know there's a lot of students who are asking questions, and so let's answer some
Can
of.
I just put you on hold for a second? I'm gonna go grab some water.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Um, Bautik, we'll start with your question, and then once Rajiv is back, like we'll take all the questions as well. Nice. Hope everyone is doing well. That is my hotel.
All right, I'm back.
All right. Bautik is the first customer. Are
Oh, hey,
these
Bhatik.
modern?
Yeah, he was talking to me this morning. Are you guys doing the show? He was
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I think people are like now so used to my leg day, so they're like, "Oh, I guess it was a legs day." And then someone said, "Maybe Rajiv ji has a hit session."
Actually, no, I did hit day before yesterday. So
Yeah,
today was just
yeah.
easy walk for an hour and a half. Uh,
Nice.
meet all the
How,
neighborhood
how's the
dogs.
how's the weather in DC?
Beautiful. It
Nice.
is
Okay.
gorgeous, man.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Is
so
it gonna
Bhatik
be
ji,
same in November?
November is not bad. DC, January gets a little cold. I mean, December,
Okay.
January are cold.
All right.
November is
Cool. So nice.
so
Okay.
just bring layers of clothes. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Bhatik, I don't think so. I can't think of any way this will affect you. So you can smoke your hookah in peace. No one
Yeah. All right. Can we file I-140 and travel on J1 for medical reasons? Physicians with good research profile and plans to take residency. Hmm.
can we file I-140 and travel on? Well, that depends. Do you already have a J1 or no? Okay. So normally what happens is, I know plenty of people who got F1 when their I-140 was still pending. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Normally they look at the sincerity of your position um, rather than whether or not you have an I-140 pending. Especially you're a physician and you're a research physician. Remember that physician scientists are in huge demand in the United States. I'm sure you already know
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it is very difficult to attract people when you can make millions of dollars in practice to bring them
Hmm.
over to research and kill rats and do findings or
Yeah.
patients. I mean, it depends upon
Yeah.
what you do. So I
Yeah.
think you should be able to. This would be my best guess.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you have a good research profile, and remember, you could always do O1 rather than a J1. Talk to the university or wherever you're going. So if you have a good profile, think about O1, better for you.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Is there any chances these new rules might not at all get into effect and get rejected by?
Hold on. Okay, so the way it works is these are regulations. These are not statutes that have to go to Congress. By the way, Congress does have the right, I forget the name of the act, but they have a certain number of days within which they can overturn any regulation. It's not going to happen because in the House, Republicans are a majority, but Senate, they don't have any say. So there's no way Congress is going to, the way I remember, I think it's both houses have to pass. So these regulations are not going to get ever overturned by the Senate or House separately. Together, they cannot act. I mean, look at what is going on in the House. Republicans can't agree among themselves. How are they going to agree with the Democrats to pass anything?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it'll be
What
okay.
about what about the elections? Is that going to have any effect on this?
No.
No.
See, once the regulations, you can deregulate. Trump did a lot of that, and some of that he did just by interpretation.
Hmm.
But I told you before, he lost 87% of the cases filed against him because
Hmm.
they were going
Hmm.
way beyond their power.
Hmm. Okay. How does it affect students with F1 visa for getting a job?
Not really. That's why I said students have only one positive advantage, which is your gap gets extended. Plenty of people have to stop working because October 1st has come and gone. They can still stay in the United States. So um, it's really not, I don't see how it would impact you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Other than lottery selection, you have better chances now.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
these new rules progressive or regressive? I think they are neither. I think they are more like they're not like moving into a new house as much as they're about dusting and cleaning your old house. So this is
Hmm.
really a dusting and cleaning rather than a rebuilding.
Yeah. I'm applying for STEM OPT extension, but I noticed that my passport expiry date is before my extension end date. Will this cause any issues with my STEM extension
So yeah,
application?
I would have to look at the law and the regulations and the policy, but I can tell you, I'm not a college professor. I'm a lawyer, so I always look at practical solutions. Contact the consulate, pay the expedited fees, get your passport extended. They can do it, I think, within a week.
Yeah, 2 weeks max. I got mine done, so I know that. Um, all right. How can I check online status for H1B before the
Oh,
petition?
another important point, which I forgot, as people ask
Hmm.
questions.
Hmm.
Noor, one of the things that's happening is under the new rules, and this is the second question they asked. Remember, I told you they asked the community two questions. One, what to do with people who don't use those visas. And second question was, we want to inform the employees also what is going on in their case.
Hmm.
How do you suggest we do that? So I intend to write about that because I
Hmm.
think that's very important. People suffer a lot because I don't know what my employer is doing. I want to know what they are filing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
far can we go with that? So
Yeah.
I'll write up something on behalf of the community here. But
Nice.
okay, so going back to Noor's question, how can I check online status for H1B before the? You cannot because it's not your petition.
Hmm.
How much
Hmm.
time will it take? You can look at the time. Just put in the search engine like Google USCIS USCIS processing times. You'll come to a page. You'll enter the form I-129 where it is pending. It'll give you the approximate time. You can always premium the pending case. That's also
Hmm.
allowed.
Okay. When will I start paying tax according to federal income tax slab? If my application gets picked up in a H1B lottery, I'm on F1 OPT paying tax according to OPT tax rate.
Okay.
Oh, interesting question.
Yeah, I don't do CPA stuff. That's I leave taxation to them. Now,
Mm-hmm.
don't take my word for it, but this is the way I think it works. While you're on OPT, you are not required to pay one part of your taxation, which is your Social Security taxes. Okay, so that's 7.5%, 3.5%
Mm-hmm.
for you, 3.5% for the employer. However, if you do pay it in, I believe there is, if any, you don't want to live in USA, you want to go back, you can actually get that refunded as far as
Correct.
I know.
Yeah.
Second thing is, it actually comes back to you in your retirement. So it's not like that money is going down the drain. That is part of the money that goes in deciding what you will get when you retire, or not even
Mm.
retire, when you reach a certain age.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, don't quote me, but I think it's also Medicare taxes.
3.5% of your salary. It used to be seven. I mean, it's 7%, 3.5 yours, 3.5 your employers. So
Hmm.
something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
keep track of those things.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. You have so much money. Like, why would
Well,
you?
I have enough for myself, and that's all one should think about, right?
Nice. Yeah. If I spend 2 months on H1B for looking job, then I applied for B1, B2. That means I can stay on job search for 8 months
Not eight
without
months.
any.
Not 8 months, Salah. What you do is, let's say you applied today, you cannot ask for more than 6 months. So right now we're in October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So you asked for April 20th. Okay, today is 21st. So let's say you asked for April 20th. So you can keep looking for a job till April 20th. But if you feel that job is not near, couple of weeks before April 20th, apply another extension.
Hmm.
Don't let
Hmm.
that time go by, otherwise you won't have room for another extension. So apply for an extension before the 6 months that you asked for during the previous B2 expire. So make sure you do it before that.
Nice. Okay. If one is working for cap exempt company hospitals, does this affect in any way for extension?
Now, if anything, Rahul, they've made it easier, in my view, for non-profit and quota exempt companies.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. I'm from Egypt. I'm on F1 visa and transition to.
Yeah. So if you are from Egypt, which you are, um, by the way, great soccer players. We used to have a lot of Egyptians in Punjab University. Great
Hmm.
soccer players. I'm from Egypt. I want to have fun. Transition to H1B. Middle East has nothing to do with it. Try not to blow anything up. Otherwise, you're fine. Unless you are involved in something nefarious, that
Hmm.
can affect you.
Yeah. Yeah. Can F1 OPD students start a startup and can H1 can get H1B? Is there a minimum investment required? Are the consideration? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're on the first year OPT, you can always do what you want. These regulations that they've talked about don't apply to STEM OPT. They only apply to
Hmm.
H1B. So I think you should wait until you are at the H1B stage, and you could even do an H1B for your own company, do your own selection, lottery selection.
Unless they started the company during their
Yeah, but
masters.
then, what about the time for the STEM OPT? They can't be working for their own company. At least that's not clear in the
Yeah,
regulations.
no, no, no. So if they started during their masters, like while they're studying during the 2 years
They
of their
can't do that.
masters.
That would be illegal.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Never mind.
They can only
Yes.
do it during the first year OPT.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and then they would miss out on the chance for applying for
Yeah, I
H1B.
think that's a good point, and we should, when we do our notice and comments, we
Yeah.
should point out to the government that they should allow that during the STEM OPT period also.
Yeah. That's a good point. Okay. Salah is back. Is it possible for me to visit my home country and stay there for a year? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm, okay. All right. Can we have H1B stamp in US if we move from
Not yet.
F1 to H?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even the pilot program that they are planning to start in the first quarter of next year, that will not probably not allow the first time stamping in the United States. I posted that on the LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page.
I think the problem is there's a lot of people making content on this, and they are misguiding by saying that they can. So it's just unfortunate.
Well, see, some of the people who are making this content were not around when we used to have the previous procedures.
Mm,
It was called visa revalidation.
right.
Revalidation means it's already stamped.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think they'll follow the same procedure. But
Yeah.
I do not know. I don't have any more inside information.
Yeah. I'm currently working on client side on H1B, and my employer did not file amendment, and now my client is requesting me to convert over to full time. Will it impact my full time conversion?
Look, Kumar, even if the government says you've been violating status, I were your lawyer, I would argue you've done nothing wrong. You depend upon your employer to take care of all this. Okay. So what if the government says you're out of status? We'll approve your client's H1B, but you have to go outside, get a visa stamp, and come back. No big deal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Violation of status is cured by stamping of the visa.
Yeah. Uh, as a fresher,
What should
non-IT
I
to IT.
should I
Hmm.
become full stack web developer, data engineer, data analyst? Which has more job openings? You know what is a great place to begin looking for job openings and all? Go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS.
Hmm.
BLS has excellent statistics on what kind of jobs are available, job growth, which jobs are supposed to grow, at what time. So they have good projections.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
BLS.gov.
Yeah. I'm just looking, and yeah, it does look like they do have. I
Oh,
think it even says projections.
they have all these projections. Wonderful, wonderful data.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah. This is the website for anyone who's looking.
They do it by the region. They do it nationally. So by professions.
Nice. Now I'm curious to see more. But anyway, cool.
Yes.
I don't
Stop
want
playing around.
to. All right. Cool. If third lottery happened in November, can I travel to India in December if I get picked up in that lottery?
See, that depends upon what your current status is, Mithun. If you go to our website, immigration.com, and look at the top ribbon where it says Rajiv's blog, click on that. About fifth page of that contains information about travel. You can also go to my LinkedIn page, and there I think I have it pinned when you can travel and what you have to look out for.
Hmm.
But of course, always talk to your lawyers before you make any decisions.
Yeah. Okay. After perm is approved, if I file my I-40 and 485 concurrently, how long does it take to get green card?
Country
Nepal.
Nepal. So, um, Akashi, there are two possibilities. Either you will be interviewed by the local office or not. Most cases are not. Okay, employment based cases are not interviewed. So, if you are not interviewed, you can expect your 485 to be completed within a year, anywhere from 8 months to a year and a half, somewhere there. That's my guess.
Hmm.
Okay. But
Hmm.
if you get interviewed, then you can add another 2, 3 years to the process.
Hmm. Nice. Okay. Surya is back. Current OPT end date is in January 2024, and then my extension will go until January 2026. But my passport end date is July 2025. Oh yeah,
It should
yeah,
not.
you're fine.
I don't think so. It should not. But in any case, as soon as you can get the passport extended, do so. I think you can get it extended 1 year ahead of time, but I could be wrong. I don't know what the Indian laws are.
Hmm. Yeah. I had my B1 B2 stamped in 2014 when I had applied from Hyderabad. It is getting expired next year. Can I apply for extension from Canada, or do I need to apply from India?
You should be able to get it extended in any country. Of course, they can say that no, no, you go back to your home country and do it. But technically, you can make an application in any country. And I think it's relatively easier to get an extension than the first time outside of your own home country.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Can we change jobs from cap exam to not cap exam job
No.
after getting H1B?
You have to go through the lottery. You can have a concurrent quota H1B and have a cap exempt at the same time, but you can't change jobs. You have to go through the lottery.
So keep the same job and also do that other job. Nice. All right. My H1B got picked in third round of lottery. Yeah. The third round lottery happened?
Didn't you just ask us that question? Just go
Yeah.
to just go to USCIS processing times on in the web search engines.
But did third lottery happen already?
No, there's no third lottery, not yet.
Okay.
He must have meant second.
Hmm. I saw it in the USCIS website that they can
That's
waive an
that's
interview.
not USCIS. That's the consulate, U.S. consulates, State Department website. And the answer is yes.
Mm,
Visa waivers are available. I mean, interview waivers are available.
nice. As you mentioned, under new regulation, multiple H1B registrations are counted as one entry. When a person H1B gets selected in lottery, which company gets picked or person has options to choose?
So,
Ooh, interesting.
just looking at what I remember, I have to go back and revisit the regulations and my own notes. Um, Multiple companies should be also able to file the H1B for you, and you get to select whichever one you want to work with.
That is interesting. um, yeah. Hmm. Sorry, going back to this, it's in. I feel it's interesting because so many times people have to choose. Like there was a friend of mine who got Goldman checks and Bloomberg. They both wanted to apply, so he had to choose one of them. And in this case, he would have. I guess he could have done still both, right?
Well,
Yeah.
he would. Let me think about this for a moment. The first H1B will have to be from the company that did the uh, lottery. I don't think
Hmm.
the second company can file. But once he has the H1B good and ready, now the question is, can he transfer before joining, before October 1st? And the answer is, I've been doing it,
Yeah.
even though there are indications in the record that government expects us to join. So after you join, you can definitely transfer. So
Hmm.
that means after October 1st. But if, in my experience, even if your visa was not revoked, as long as your H1B was not revoked before October 1st, you could
Hmm.
you could transfer even before that.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. All right. We already took that. I am currently on H1B and I have not gotten a stamp before. Where can I get H1B stamping? Are there restriction of things I should look for? I've not lived in my national country before. Ooh.
You can apply in any country. That will take third country nationals. I was looking at Mexico's website. They were saying they're not taking third country nationals right now. But you could go to Canada, you could go to Puerto Rico, not Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, you could go to Jamaica, Bahamas, New Virgin Islands, any of the surrounding countries.
Hmm. Hmm. Hello, sir. My university is in Florida. Can I enter US through
Well,
LA? Yes. Okay. Um, oops. Sagar, keep repeating the same question. I want a little more info about how many years we can stay in US with F1 and how many with H1B.
so for F1, there is no limit. For H1B, there's a limit of 6 years unless you have applied for a green card. Then you can get a lot of ongoing extensions even beyond 6 years.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. When discussing the national interwaiver EB2 category seeking a green card without employer sponsorship, is it as
Uh,
advisable?
See, NIW is different. NIW doesn't look at your qualifications as much as it looks at your project. So let's say that I have a master's degree in computer science with 3 years of experience in control systems. Okay. And I have in mind an idea that will help the US government secure its industrial control systems
Hmm.
because that's one of our biggest vulnerabilities. Industrial control systems can be very easily hacked. At least they used to be. Okay. So I have a project. Now, when I have a project like that, it's going to help the United States, not just one company, but the entire US ecology.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's the one number one. Do you have a project that would help the US national interest? Not the local interest, but more wide than that. Number two, are there companies interested in your work? For example, a job is one example, but you don't need a job. But let's say UD owns a company, something small. Let's call it Microsoft. Okay. So UD owns Microsoft and he says, hey, Salah, let's work together. Um, I am very interested in your idea. He gives you a letter of interest. That's the second prong. And then the third prong is, can you do the job? Now, that's the easiest one. You just have to have enough in your background to be able to do that job. You don't have to be the best qualified person in the world.
Hmm.
I hope that helps.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that was interesting. And I do hope to have Microsoft as my small
Yeah, why not?
company.
Can you give me free copies of Microsoft Word?
I will. I will. I will. All right, and there's no more copies. Like now, it's all cloud.
Yeah,
Do they still sell?
yeah,
Oh wow,
they do.
interesting. Uh, my fiance and myself both working in US with MNC, and both born in India. My fiance has O1 approved stamp and right now on O1 status. Also has I-140 approved in EB1.
Yeah, see, all these people, when they give me these details, I always want to know. Are you बता रहे हो कि जला रहे हो? What are you saying?
Okay, also has H1B caps. I myself, I don't know what the question is, Anand. I'm
Maybe
not
he
sure
just
what.
wants to share his story.
Okay,
For you, Anand.
great. Prem, we started the stream with.
We've been talking about that for a while now. Watch the
Yeah,
recording of the video of first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour maybe.
yeah, yeah. All right. If there is any problem in immigration at port of entry, will I be given the right to get
No,
a lawyer?
you have no right to a lawyer in the at the entry port.
Do you get right after
Yeah,
after?
because constitutional rights are only once you enter the United States.
Okay, got it. Mm. So if something happens to me, I can just call you. Like
Yeah.
say, like I want to talk to my lawyer,
But
Rajiv.
don't call me if you have appendicitis, because something happens to me. I don't know what happened to you. Something legal happens to you, call me.
Yeah.
Or call me. I have this pain on the right hand side of my stomach. Sorry, buddy. Not my job.
I mean, you have probably a lot of doctor clients, so you can recommend
Both
me
my
one.
brothers are doctors.
Let's see, see. You would be very resourceful.
Yeah.
uh,
My brothers can never agree between themselves. So one is a surgeon, the other one is an internist. So they are diametrically opposed in their approach to treatment.
oh no, yeah, yeah, that's funny. All right, I've crossed 60 days of grace period, and employer said that since the stamping date and filing date of each is 180 days, even if I get denial, they said they can request I-797B. Hmm.
That question is mysterious, sir.
Yeah.
I'm completely lost. I don't know what you're saying.
Mm, yeah. All right, we have last 3 minutes left. Let's do some stoicism.
Fursat ki salah. Stoicism. It's interesting and I didn't know that the pronunciation is stoicism. I used to say stoicism. It's
Oh, really? It is stoicism.
stoicism.
Oh,
Tells
interesting.
you what I
Okay.
know. So the one of the premier guys who started this whole philosophy was Zeno, and Zeno actually had a shipwreck where he lost everything.
Mm,
And when he landed at whatever the next port was, the first thing he went into a bookshop to study books of philosophy.
mm,
And I mean, imagine that mindset where you've lost everything. So instead of sitting on the road and crying, you are looking for a way to console yourself, right?
wow.
So I
Yeah.
went and read up on that and asked somebody, I need a philosopher who can teach me things.
Mm, mm,
And they pointed that guy is a philosopher. So that's how we got started. So
mm.
the whole idea of stoicism started with a huge disaster. So that
Oh,
tells you
wow.
don't
Yeah.
don't look at the disaster, look at the
Yeah.
potential after the disaster.
Love that. Love that. You guys said that there are only two chances, but I've heard that after STEM, you can apply 3 times for the lottery.
No, you can apply as many times as you like. You can keep applying until the cows come home. But the lottery is conducted only a limited number of times. So far, it has been conducted twice. So application भर के भेज दो, they'll just reject it. I mean, there's no when you ask a question, be precise. Can I
No,
apply?
I think he's mentioning like 2 years of STEM extension, and then in that there's two chances. But
No, no, no.
again, there's a lot of
See,
speculation.
look, again, the question is not precise. Remember, you don't have to be on STEM to apply for lottery. So what if you took your chances on STEM and now you don't have any more STEM left and you went to India or Afghanistan, wherever you're from, okay,
Hmm.
they can still keep applying. Your employers can still keep applying for you. There's unlimited number of chances.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be in the United States to apply. You don't
Right.
have to be in STEM OPT.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Salah. Thank you so much. We try. We try. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Sometimes Rajiv ji is in the
you'll be
roasting.
spoiled. But I came to this country on a student visa myself. F1, F1 OPT, then green card. So I know, no, then H1B, then green card.
But when was that? Like your green card process was very easy.
My green card was in 1989,
How long did it take you at that
six
time?
months from start to finish. Okay.
Wow.
So the funny thing is, when I was already working as a lawyer,
Hmm.
and here local law firm McTire and Ketchy, right across the street was the USCIS office. We just had to cross one street.
Yeah.
So I had gone for 5 interviews that day. So that lady who was doing the interviews that day, she had seen me 5 times already. So when I went in the sixth time, she says, "You're back again." I said, "This time it's for myself." She couldn't stop laughing. She said, "You're applying for a green card." I said, "Yes, ma'am."
That is funny.
Yeah,
Um, cool. All right. I'm gonna enjoy Tahoe. I'll see you, Rajiv ji, in person in 2 weeks.
sounds good.
But we'll meet tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Next week. Thank you, everybody,
Sounds good.
and enjoy.
I'll see you,
Okay.
kids.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.